Lifa Torvaldr. The Svanir spoke beside the pristine pool. You saw Lifa Torvaldr as the hermit in the wood. You said, the old lord provided his shelter, an old folly in the grounds of the ruined remains of the old castle. He watches the ancient wood, the prize of the old lord, the hunting ground where the prey is darkness. He is lean and quiet. The folly is beside the stream. He bathes in the crystal water. He eats the leaves, berries, nuts, and mushrooms of the wood. His fire never dies in the hearth of his folly. The simple stone remains hard, but there, at the heart of sanctuary, the stone is warm and infusions steam into the surrounding cool of the air. He wears a robe of grey wool, and from a belt of woven fibre hangs a simple knife. His feet are bare as he receives the pilgrim warriors, as they, starving, spear-wounded, pass through the ancient wood. He washes their bleeding wounds, settles their disparate thought, and by the will of the wood he polishes and makes clear again their own view of their own seeking souls. Recall, Lifa, life, joined Torvaldr, thunder's rule. Lifa is the colour in dew-dropped petals. She is the colour in freshest wet grass. She is the blossom and the leaf, the sinew of trunk and stem. She is the root and the tendril. Torvaldr watches as she grows. She is his muse, and by her rule he prunes, by her rule he sculpts, by her rule he trains, all so that she may reach. Know this, the mother, the form of earth, is the hermit's muse. The hermit prunes the manifestation of life. The hermit prunes all away until all that remains is the song of the birds, the slow growing of shoots and leaves, the murmuring of the trees, the droning and fluttering of insects, the busy scurrying of animals amidst the debris of the woodland floor. The hermit does what no other may do. He prunes himself that he may be immersed in something greater, in the raw energy that keeps him warm. To Lifa and Torvaldr, Svanir said, You are together 1/12 of my father's counsel. You are together 1/12 of my father's will. You are together one of my father's 12 limbs. What is your counsel? Lifa faced Torvaldr across the fire. Together they held Kenner's cup. Lifa spoke. I am the colour of new growth. I am the offspring of light and water. I am the blossoming of will. Torvaldr spoke. She is my soul to sculpt. She is my mind to train. She is my body to prune. Lifa spoke. If you would to grow, then you must know me. If you would to discover the infusion of your father's will, then you must know me. If you would to create yourself anew, then you must have my blessing. Torvaldr spoke. If you would hew the stone, if you would sculpt the wood, if you would form the clay, if you would forge the sword, if you would train the plant, if you would temper your soul, then you must be cruel to all but her. Svanir asked, How might I know you? Lifa and Torvaldr spoke as one. Svanir, you will know us in the form of water-worn stone. You will know us when the cuts follow the wood will. You will know us in the cup you hold in your hands. You will know us in the form of the garden. You will know us in the children of the blessed. You will know us in the sweat and the fire. You will know us in the cutting blade. You will know us by what we shave away. You will know us in the life that forms. You will know us when you see her rise. You will know us in the flames of your spirit as you touch your fingers into the world. Svanir listened and heard and responded. I would know you. Lifa Torvaldr spoke as one. Then you must seek the essence. You must know the simple wood. You must know the simple stone. You must bear the simple blade. Svanir asked, What does it mean to sculpt, to forge and temper, to train and prune? And what does it mean for the colour of new growth to be cruel? Lifa Torvaldr spoke. The cruelty is in the forging. It is in the fire and in the beat of the hammer. It is in the sparks that fly and the steam that rises. The cruelty is in the falling of leaves. The cruelty is in the choice. It is in the allowance. It is in the keeping to the truth of the will. The cruelty is in our father's gaze and in our mother's desire. She wills of him, he wills of her, and together they are stern. In being stern, they are cruel. To know us, you must know cruelty. You must relinquish. You must choose. You must serve by forming the clay of her body so that it may host our love. Fiacre asked, The hermit washes wounds, and yet prunes himself. What is the meaning of this? The Svanir answered, The hermit washes only the wounds of pilgrims. He washes their wounds so that they may continue to train their will, forge their spirit, sculpt their minds and their bodies, that they may better prune the form of their being. Fiacre asked, Why must the man recede as the hermit in order to prune? The Svanir answered, He must recede so that he may know the essence of the form he seeks. He recedes so that his view may be marked to the raw form, the true form of his partner's will. The hermit that serves a pilgrim is the child of Lifa Torvaldr. They are the form he seeks. If you would be theirs, then you must recede to wash the pilgrim's feet, and to call to their hearts with their own pilgrim song. He must know the pilgrim father if he is to wash and not dirty the pilgrim souls. Thus he must recede, for he must be forged and tempered, leaner even than they. Fiacre asked, Who are the pilgrims? The Svanir answered, The giants were lost. As man grew, he witnessed and mirrored the order inherent in his world. He venerated the giants. The old trees, the mountains and springs, the representations of the essence of the strength that allowed him to survive. Not all are so venerated. The jealousy of the mass sometimes would rise to topple the ancient. The old tree would fall and the infinite new would arise to feed from the carcass, and all the years of wisdom inherent in that tree, not possible to pass to infants, would be lost. And when all the ancient trees were toppled, even the life tree itself, then the jealous mind of the many would rule. The many would build their own idols to venerate, but always would insist that greatness was to be found only in what they deemed to be the father. The father, as all had once innately known, venerated the mother. The jealous understood neither, thus they cut their own mother's braids from her head. And they did it in the name of their father. Little did they know, with their own seeming lofty view, that it was the father himself who had lovingly braided her hair, that her own gold might be honoured in his light. The jealous man contrived to rid his world of anything that might prove him wrong. His task was to flatten the hierarchy of inherent realization, to make God so distant that all men would seem the same, with the great old beasts beneath, and so they took down the great trees in the ancient forest those monarchs ruled. Nothing but their deemed and shifting godhead was sacred. All power but their own must be suppressed. The forest must be kept new and the animals young and weak. The old spaces, those that would remind of that which had threatened, would have to be cut, or burned, culled, and replaced by that which held no power. The power amidst the new would be disseminated. The old forest of man became the new forest of man. The old giants were gone. The new giant could now grow alone to guard his hoard. The new power pretended. The new power disseminated its seed. The new power harnessed all to itself. And as it did, as it played out its jealous seed, as it ignored the true deity in life, the honour bestowed by father upon mother, the honour bestowed by mother upon father, all was available to its grasp. It would control all. It became the poisoned version of the very beauty it had sought to destroy. The pilgrims are those that remain in the old wood. They are the strong that must suffer the weak. They are those that refuse to forget. They are those that would still protect. They are those whose souls bear the thickest bark, because they have seen, because they remember what has happened. The pilgrims are those that love the old wood. They are the intelligent that must suffer the fool. They are those that realize the fool is more than just the fool. They are those who have considered the longer cause. They are those that can see the deep causes from which manifestation stems. The pilgrims are those that return to the old wood. They are the light that must suffer the dark. They are those that see, whose eyes have not been dimmed. They are those that see the tendrils that cling. They are those that carry the spear and who wield it to protect the cup that holds the water beneath the ancient tree. Too long have the jealous weak cut down all that would grow strong. Too long have they instead, in substitute, sustained the inherent weak with shackled control. Too long have they dishonored the gods of the ocean, of the forest, of the mountain, and of the stream, simply to perpetuate themselves. The pilgrims are those the Valkyries have chosen. The hermit sits along their path. They bear the souls of heroes. He washes the souls of those who died fighting for the true. He cleans the wounds of those who call the spear-bearer their father. He comforts a solemn stern for his father in honor of his mother. They are the children of the old wood. They are the children of the old trees. They are those who remember. They are the remains of the ever-true, those of whom the Valkyries dream, who live the spirit, who bear the image of the father of shield maidens. They are the rising lust of the horseborn. The hermit consoles them for their beauty, for their strength, for their resilience against the dark. He consoles them against the poison of the deflected mind. He consoles them against the weight of the loss they recall. He consoles them against those who do not remember. Now the tall tree considers itself a god, for there are no gods to be seen by which he would know his age. His bark is straight. He has never seen the bark of the old tree, the wood turned by centuries. And so, despite a sapling, he is his own god, and all around treat him as such. But he grows out of a wilderness of his own, and when the fire burns at his feet, he burns too, for there is no time for wisdom to grow. It is from that the hermit flies. The hermit is a pilgrim. The battle is a memory of the loss. The spirits of the old trees are taken in the arms of the horseborn.